Welcome back to the high school game night halftime show. I'm Catherine Clark. The District 3 tournament begins next Friday, so a loss or win in this week by any team could really shake things up. So let's bring in our high school football correspondent, Jeff Reinhart of PennLive.com, who's been keeping an eye on those district power rankings. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Catherine. Good to be here.
All right, Jeff. Well, Wilson remains undefeated and #1 in the Quad A bracket. They could potentially meet up with the Lebanon Cedars, who are hanging on to the 16th spot. What do you think of that possible matchup and the rest of Quad A?
I think it's going to happen. How about Lebanon? Just 1 year ago, the Cedars were 0-10. What a turnaround. They're 6-3 this season here coming into week 10, and they get Elizabethtown. That's a winnable game. I think Lebanon will be the favorite to win. If so, they should lock up that 16 spot and head to Wilson for a district playoff game. It'd be Lebanon's first trip since 2008 to the district playoffs. Mark Piles has been unbelievable for Lebanon this season. 2,030 passing yards, just over 1,000 rushing yards, over 3,000 all-purpose yards, which is far and away tops in the league. He also has 24 touchdown passes, which leads the LL. So that'd be mighty interesting if Lebanon would hook up with Wilson here in a first-round playoff game. Wilson finishes out with Warwick, of course. They're looking to run the table for the 6th year in a row in Section 1, which is pretty awesome. A couple more LL teams involved here. Circle this game, Hempfield-Manheim Township. Hempfield currently sits at number 11. Manheim Township sits at number 14. Huge rivalry game, and it looks like Township's probably going to need to win there because they have a lot of teams right on their tail. Number 15 and 16 and 17 that could jump up if Township loses. Hempfield, if it ended right now and they get the 11, they would play Cedar Cliff, which is having a superb season. They have Andrew Ford, the Virginia Tech recruit quarterback. They knocked off Bishop McDevitt a week ago. Keep an eye on Penn Manor as well. Right now the Comets are sitting at number 10. They get Cedar Crest here in week 10. If they finish there, it looks like they possibly get a matchup with Central York, which is always a really strong York Adams team. And I don't know if Penn Manor wants to bump up, quite frankly, because that 8-9 game, if they get into that, the 8-9 winner, if chalk holds and the brackets hold, they'd get number 1 Wilson in the second week of the playoffs. So we'll see where Penn Manor ends up if they can knock off Cedar Crest. But yeah, like you mentioned, that Lebanon-Wilson matchup could be really interesting if that pans out.
All right, now the AAA bracket looks loaded at the top with Bishop McDevitt, Manheim Central, and Cocalico, the top 3 teams respectively. What does their path look like on the way to the District 3 final, and are there any contenders further down?
Well, right now, you know, if everybody wins out, McDevitt, despite the loss to Cedar Cliff, would still get the 1 seed. And Manheim Central, they get Solanco here in week 10, so they'll be heavily favored to win that one and get the 2. Cocalico gets Ephrata here in week 10. They'll be favored to win that one. So if the brackets pan out and they're 1, 2, 3, that would mean a potential semifinal showdown between Cocalico and Manheim Central at Manheim. So that'd be a game here in the LL that people would really love to see, obviously. And I think Cocalico would like to stay right there in that number 3 spot. If they do that, they would avoid McDevitt until the finals, but they'd have to go through the Barons to get there. Other LLs in the mix here. Right now, LS sits at number 15. They play Conestoga Valley here in week 10. If they win and hold on to the 15, looks like they'd probably get Manheim Central in a rematch of a Section 2 game from a couple weeks ago. Manheim won that shootout 56-31. Lancaster Catholics, they're right in it because they played an all-Quad A schedule up in Section 1. Right now they're on the 7 line. They play McCaskey here in week 10, and the Tornado is winless this season. So if that pans out, Catholic could potentially get Shippensburg in the first round. And keep an eye on at the bottom here. Garden Spot is sitting at number 18, and Donegal is sitting at number 19. Best bet for an LL there would be Garden Spot, but it would need 16 Daniel Boone and 17 Spring Grove to both lose, and Garden Spot would need a win over Pequay Valley. So long shots, Garden Spot and Donegal. Donegal's all but out. They're sitting at number 19, so they're going to need a win over Anvil Cleona and a ton of people to lose to get in. So like you said, though, top 3 there in that bracket is looking mighty fine with Bishop McDevitt, Manheim Central, and Cocalico. That should be a lot of fun.
All right, strong contenders there. And finally, there is still a fight for the top and final spot in AA. What can we look for there?
We can look for possibly one LL team getting in, and if you run the numbers, win or lose, it looks like Enville-Cleona is going to grab that number 8 spot. The Little Dutchmen sit there at number 8 right now. They have to play Donegal in week 10, which is a tough one. But it looks like if Enville-Cleona can win that, they're going to get the number 8. Dutchmen started the season 0-5, so they've had a really hot second half. They've been playing really well. Looks like they're going to sneak here and get the 8, which would mean a matchup against the number 1 seed, which is Berks Catholic. They're 9-0 here going into week 10. So, hey, I'm sure Enville would love to make postseason, especially after the 0-5, even if they have to get the number 1. Looks like the Dutchmen will be going to the postseason. How about that?
All right, well, thanks, Jeff, for joining us all season long. We'll see you again next Friday as we kick off the postseason here on High School Game Night.
Okay, thanks.
Don't forget to check out Jeff's work at PennLive.com for all the latest on high school athletes throughout the LL League. Coming up next Friday on BRC 11, we will have playoff action for you. When all of the games are decided and the playoff brackets come out, our game of the night will feature one of the powerhouses from the AAA tournament. So tune in to BRC 11 on Monday to see which one of our teams it will be. That'll do it for the halftime show. Thanks for watching. Just a reminder, High School Game Night's post-game show airs tonight at 10:30 with Chad Landers and Brian Cast. But for now, we'll send you back to Eagle Stadium for second half action between Ephrata and Coke Calico. Enjoy.